All right, well, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to speak to the article on, uh, there it is, from Reducing Stereotype Threats in the Classroom um, by the National Center for Educational Evaluation and Regional Assistance from the US Department of Education. So this article, let me look at my notes here. Sorry. Great study, great article. I liked how they opened up talking about how this is not meant to be a quote silver bullet. They brought down they did a very good job of laying out the facts of why you actually have to have this article put in place. Whereas, as we know in our classes for Davenport, there is data that clearly shows an achievement gap. They laid out some specifics on, I think, the first or second page about SAT and ACT scores for African American males and females comparatively to white males and females, and the significant gap. I think it's almost 20% difference on the scores there. And that, let me see. And that just, once again, just breaks it down as why we need to have this. So the so what for me, just to start off, I'm going to repeat this, is we need to be, as teachers, aware. We need to be, as teachers, educated, intentional, and then empowering to our students. So that's my so what there when I'm reading this article, is that as with anything with this Davenport Urban Ed program, I think educated, intentional, and then empowering. So what is a stereotype threat? Well, on page 2 of the article, it actually lays out very clearly. I'm just going to pull it up here. Sorry. Okay. So the concept of the stereotype threat is black and other minority students may worry that they would confirm the intellectual inferiority alleged by such stereotypes that can hinder the test performance, motivation, and learning. So the concept is there is the stereotype out there. It's almost a norm in the sense of this achievement deficit. So therefore, this stereotype threat is having these students know that, then they will reduce or it could less motivate them, right? So then this article goes in to talk about 3 separate experiments that they attempted to increase the stereotype challenges. So these 3 studies, starting on page 4. First study was by Blackwell and others in Dweck. And the idea was to reinforce for students the idea that intelligence is expandable and like a muscle and grows stronger as they work. So what they did with that is their research question is, does teaching students to see intelligence as malleable or incremental lead to higher motivation and performance, and relatively taught in the theory of intelligence. So that concept there is that the concept of the incremental theory of learning, and so they went ahead and taught that to the students, and they showed significant gain for those students there. The second theory was on, when I'm running out of time here, I'm realizing I thought I'd have not enough time. Second one was teaching students the difficulties, how often, of the learning curve. So that one they went ahead and taught, they asked, can teaching students attributes of academic difficulties and transitional personal. So basically with this one, that article was in regards to how showing students that every student has a challenge of learning, and it's normal, and so therefore they're not unique or inadequate. And finally, the last one was helping students reflect on their values other than school, and this was the kind of idea to help bring up that self-efficacy in the sense of, hey, I have a lot of skills and values. So as I'm looking at the time here, all 3 cases, black students who received the affirmation, they did well. And so as opposed to the intern group compared to the control group. So this article does a great job of laying that out in these strategies. But like I said in the beginning, my whole point with this and how I'm pulling up from this reading is the so what, which is negative stereotypes can be changed. Our role as teachers in urban settings is to become an educated, and so that's part of this program, intentional about our planning and lesson planning and design. And finally, once we have this knowledge and we know it, then we need to empower our students so they are not held to these stereotypes anymore. How do you do that in your classroom? Have a great day, folks. Bye.